Okay, hi Ivania, how are you?
Hi, Douglas. I'm doing great, thank you.
Thank you for coming on the show. It's nice to see you. So, you've written a book called Faraway From My Roots, and this is your story basically of immigrating from Rwanda to the United States. Is that correct?
Yes, that's the story.
Okay,
The
when did you come to the United States?
I moved to the United States in 2012, September 20.
Oh, so just about 10 years ago, yeah?
Yes.
And according to your bio, it says that you won an American Diversity Immigration Visa. How did you win it?
It's funny because that was my third times to apply for it. I did the first time and the second time, and then the third time was my friend who is here. He said, "You better try one more time," and then yeah, he applied for me. I sent him all the information and the photo, and then he applied, and then later, after 1 year, he said, "Guess what? You were picked. You are coming to United States."
Oh, wow. So it was it kind of like a lottery?
Yes, it's a kind of yes.
Oh, I see. Okay. That must have been pretty exciting, yeah, to get that. Did you think you were going to get it or not?
As I said, this was my third times because I did it for myself the first time and the second time. So it was no any chance. It was just, it's like when you buy the ticket from
For the lottery
7-Eleven.
ticket, yeah.
Yes, you just trying your best and your chance. And it happened that they picked me, and coming to America has been like my wish because I wish to, I grew up watching the representation of American lifestyle. I want to go for further education. I want opportunities. So yeah, it was kind of a dream come true, if I can say.
Dream come true. Well, that's great. That's fantastic. So your first home in the United States was in Ohio. Is that where your friend was living? Is that how you got to Ohio?
Yes, I flew from Rwanda, Kigali, and then I landed in Akron, Ohio. That's where one of the family friends who hosted me, they were based. And then I moved to Columbus after, because I had to be on my own feet. I got a roommate in Columbus. And then after 1 year and a few months, I moved to California, Loma Linda, to pursue my education. And then after 1 year, I have a little issues. I couldn't keep going with my classes. So then I decided to move to Los Angeles, coming from Loma Linda to look for a job to Los Angeles City.
Oh, okay. Do you live in LA now, in Los Angeles City?
Yes, right now I'm based, LA based. Yes.
Oh, I see. Okay. What do you do? What is your job?
Right now, I have been working on one project about COVID because, okay, in between I bounced the jobs to jobs, and then after I went back to school, I finished my graduate school in public health and concentration in global health. So I have been working on one project for tracking the COVID situation in developing countries, working from home, and I'm working on my second book.
What is your area of expertise? What did you get your degree in?
Public health, but my concentration is in global health
Global
on the
health.
global scale. Yes,
Oh, I see. So, is your job actually as a researcher?
I can do that.
You can
I
do
can,
that. Okay.
but right now it's a kind of a epidemiologist, if I can say, because it requires a little numbers and the variation of the virus, and it. I would say the position is kind of right now epidemiologist.
Oh, all right. Are you a doctor?
No, it's just public health. It's master's in public health. You can be a researcher. You can do work as an epidemiologist. You can work as an in any NGO, just for any program that can impact the health outcome, as a program, as an NGO, as a research. Yeah, that's basically what is a public health.
Well, let's talk a little bit about your book. Why did you decide to write this book?
Well, as I said, I grew up with watching the representation of American lifestyle. It's a land of opportunity. It's a land where everything seems like perfect, and the opportunities there are opportunities just are there waiting for you. And then when I came, I realized that yes, there are many opportunities, but you have to go through a lot of challenges to be able to grab those opportunities. So, for example, myself, I didn't speak any English when I came because all my academic background, were in French. The challenge of the language was really, really harsh with me, because everything I want to do, I have to have someone to be by my side. I was looking for more opportunities, but then many challenges. So I wrote this book to be able to share with the people the real experience of American opportunities, American dream. And besides that, I just want to let my fellow immigrants to learn, for those who are coming or planning to come to United States, to learn from my real experience. And besides that, as I said, I faced a lot of challenges, not only the language, but the racism and the cultural differences. And so I wrote this also to share with the fellow Americans to what people go through when they are here, and to invite them to or try to learn more about different cultures. Because most of the time, Americans, they don't know the rest of the world, if I can say. So that's the main three reasons that I wrote this book.
You said most Americans don't what with the rest of the world?
They don't know more about the rest of the cultures out there, in different countries.
Yeah, we're a big country and we're kind of isolated with two oceans, and we have I understand what you mean. I think when Americans travel outside of the United States, not all, but I think a lot have this illusion in their mind that the rest of the world is going to be just like America. And it's not.
That's true.
And it's not at all. And you have to leave America at home when you travel,
Yes.
and travel with an open mind. Yeah.
Vice versa for Africans or other immigrants. When you're coming from any country or from any background, you better leave everything there. That's basically the book, what it's about.
So, okay, so somebody from Rwanda, if they were reading your book, the takeaway is going to be when you come to America, you start clean, right? Don't bring all of that with you. Is that what you're saying?
They should be prepared that nothing's going to be easy, because some of the people, they have this delusion because they say America is a land of opportunity, then they believe that. Probably there are some people who are on the street calling you to, hey, come and get the job. And I remember how it was hard for me to get the first job, because I was sending the resume, and then of course there's no experience. I don't speak English. It was not easy. So I want them to be prepared that nothing's easy to get, and to be prepared of this cultural shock, if I can say, and maybe to let them to tell them to let it go sometimes. We have a lot of things. Everyone has a lot of things that will make them to be stuck with their own culture, because that's where they were raised and like me. But at some point, when you are here, there's the time you say, you know what, I'm done. I remember there was the time I say I'm done with eating, holding on, because I knew in my culture there's no way you can eat on the street. That it doesn't happen at all. If you just walking on the street and eating, I don't know, people they may think that you have a mental disease. So no matter what, you have to find a place and sit and eat. Then after you can keep working. So, but here, someone can grab a subway and run into, maybe taking bites and go for his taking the bus. But there was the time I was, no, I can't do this. I can't do this. I can't. But then by the time I said, you know what, I'm done. There are the things that I have to let it go.
Somebody else said that too. I had somebody on the show, I think they were immigrant from Korea. And I asked them what was something that shocked you about the United States when you came here. And he said that when he was working at a company, when it was lunchtime, he said the amount of people that were sitting alone eating. He said, and in Korea, they never did that they always sat together, all the people that worked together, they always sat together and ate lunch. And he said people in America always sat alone and ate lunch. And he thought that was strange. So for us, we don't notice. But yeah.
That's true. The same way in my country, when you are in people always like to stay together, to talk to each other, as long as you are kind of a community. Let's say if you work together, or I say that I give an example in my book of how do I know my neighbors. Back in my country, you have to know your neighbors. It's not that you have to, but with the culture, you feel like you have to know, because you have to know if they are doing well, if they don't need anything, if you are not bothering them in any way. But if you can go and eat there, you can knock on someone's door and ask if they are eating, you just go eat. But right here, that's not the case. I said this was an example. How do I know my neighbor? The four neighbors in front of me, both of the right and the left and right and behind me, I didn't know any one of the names of all those people, just the faces. And I was living on that place almost 2 years. Can you imagine living at one place in 2 years and you don't know someone who is just really like your door is faced, it's in front of someone else's apartment, but you don't know their names.
Well, I think people have lived in apartment buildings in America for 20 and 30 years and never met the people who live right next door.
I was so shocked about that too.
We do have to wind this down. We are out of time, unfortunately. Thank you so much for coming on. Your book is called Faraway From My Roots. Is the book available now? Is it out?
Yes, the book was officially published on Friday, August the 5th, and it is available on Amazon, mostly on most of the online platform, and soon it will be physically in the bookstores.
Okay, great. Do you have a website you want to give out?
And
no?
It may be published tonight.
Okay. Well, we'll just put available at Amazon. We'll put that up on the screen. So that's great.
Thank you.
Okay, well, thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story. Best of luck with your book.
Thank you so much, Douglas. Thank you for having me.